What's going on, YouTube? This is AA Ron here, bringing you guys PSBL Week 2 recap video, and it is 2:13 in the morning, Sunday morning, and I just finished the document, and I just finished recording Season 1 recap video. I just finished it. It's actually still, uploading, basically, and I looked into the Discord, and this replay was done. It's like, great, now, so I will kind of want to record this, and then, before I go to bed, just so it's get out of the way and done. And then, once I, finish updating the document for this battle, another battle happened at 2:15 in the morning. So then, when I finished the last battle, updating the doc and everything, now I just want to get these two battles done and over with, go to bed right after this, and just call it a night. So, week 2 right now, we have the Pokemaster Mike, the New York Metagross, taking on the Gainesville Goodra and Mandy the Turtle. Crocodile, Ferrothorn, Deontay, Crobat, Galvantula, and McMortar taking on Azelf, P2, Tapu Koko, Chestnut, Mega Scizor, and Swellow. Right at the top of the bat, I can see already that Magmortar actually puts in a lot of work, especially with like a Focus Blast or a Flamethrower. It's doing a lot of damage. Not a lot of things that want to take any of that. Mike's gonna definitely have to switch around, right? Make the right reads and everything, and yeah, he should be able to do okay. Swellow, I think, actually puts in a lot of work. Not a lot of things on Mandy's team wants to take a Brave Bird. Only one resist Brave Bird. That would be the Deontay. Everything else is either neutral or super. Actually, nothing is super effective. Everything is neutral, but still, a Brave Bird from Swellow or even a Boom Burst from Swellow, that is doing a lot of damage no matter who you are. But let's get right into this. We have Azelf taking on Deontay. U-turn from the Azelf and going right out into Porygon 2, getting that download as he eats the Diamond Storm very, very well, gets that ×2 defense, switches out into Magmortar as the Magic Code comes out, probably predicting the Stealth Rocks as a Taunt comes out on Porygon, goes for a Shadow Ball that does not do a whole lot as we see leftovers on Magmortar, as Magmortar goes for the Toxic on another Shadow Ball from Porygon 2. Ashley gets to Spadef drop, so he probably wants to switch out, and she switches out into Ferrothorn to take another Shadow Ball, which does get the crit and another special defense drop, which as Porygon is still taking up a lot of poison damage, as Mandy decides to double out in Deontay on the Magic Coat again on Porygon, probably predicting spikes, as a Diamond Storm hits critical hitly on Porygon as he goes down to 28%, decides to just sack it off, and Porygon actually does lift another hit, but then dies to toxic damage, and switches right out into Azelf as Deontay switches into Ferrothorn on the U-turn, takes Iron Barge damage, and goes right out into Chestnut, which is super bulky. Very good matchup. Decides to double out in Azelf, predicting a switch into Crobat. He was correct. Goes for a Psychic, does in fact take out the Crobat. And we're tied again as Crocodile sees that it was Scarfed, goes for the Pursuit, trapping it in, and does in fact take out the Azelf, but now we see that it was also Scarfed or Bandit, I don't really know, as Ferrothorn comes out again on the Mega Scizor's U-turn, switches right out into Chestnut again, as it is decided to go for a Drain Punch, is able to do super effective, but not able to kill at all, as the Iron Barge damage does take effect to Chestnut, as now Ferrothorn switches out into Magmortar, gets hit with a Drain Punch, and then switches out into Scizor, goes for a Flamethrower, taking out the Scizor, unfortunately, and we're sitting at 5v3 now, as Coco decides to come out now. Coco is going to go for the, I do believe, Thunderbolt? Yeah, goes for a Thunderbolt on the Deontay, is able to live that very nicely, as we see that it is, in fact, AV. Goes for a Diamond Storm. Chestnut is able to eat that up very, very nicely. Goes for a Drain Punch, not able to do a lot because the defense raise. Goes for a Moonblast, not able to take it out, but does massive damage. Does lower the special attack, which we all know does a whole lot against Chestnut. Goes for another Drain Punch, not able to take it down, but then goes down to a Moonblast itself. So then Thor comes back out, realizes he messed up a little bit, goes right on into Swellow as he gets hit by a Diamond Storm and does drop. And now Coco comes back, Coco brings up the electric train again, goes for a Thunderbolt, not able to kill, but does get the paralysis and paralyze all in the same turn. Goes for the agility so it can outspeed everything, even if it's scarfed. Earth Power does not kill, actually. And now Coco is able to take out the Deontay. It is one against the world. Goes out into Galvantula. Z, I do believe, Twinkle Tackle. Z, Dazzling Gleam, turns out into Twinkle Tackle, does in fact kill the Galvantula. Dazzling Gleam is not able to take out the Crook, and Earthquake is able to take out the Coco. For a moment, I was in voice chat during the battle, and we all thought that Coco was going to bring it back. It might have, it might not have, but we don't know, but it was a very good effort by Coco to try to bring it back. Mandy winning 2 in a row, which is very good. That puts her on top of the conference, and as well as the division, for now at least, and we don't know what the future is going to hold. But good job to Mandy. And man, I hate this fight, mainly because I have to do defensive stats. My own fault, I actually enjoy them. But we have Rock Hands and the Rocky Mountain Lycanrocs versus the Winter 64 and the Charlotte Beedrills. We have Scizor, Thundurus, Greninja, Clefable, Bronzong, and Arcanine taking out Ribombee, Garchomp, Blissey, Huntail, Rotom, and Slowking. I'm just gonna just go right into this right now. I don't want to talk about it beforehand because this is actually a very long battle. As we have Rotom taking on Clef first hand, switches out into Arcanine, get that Intimidate drop, and we see Trick most likely either Specs or Scarfed. I would assume Scarfed. Switches right out into Slowking, taking on a devastating Drake. Aids it up pretty nicely. Goes right out into Scizor, as is double into Garchomp, as Scizor is going to double out into Bronzong on the Swords Dance. Goes for an Inferno Overdrive. I do believe, in my opinion, I think that is Fire Fang, but I don't know. Greninja comes in, goes for an Ice Beam on the Blissey switch, and does get the freeze, but honestly it doesn't really matter because it is a Blissey with Natural Cure. As Natural Cure does activate, goes out into one Smashy Boy, which is the Huntail, takes a low kick. I don't know if he was reading that or not, but it was still a very good play. Goes for a U-turn, goes right out into Clefable on the Super Fang, which I thought he was going to go for a Shell Smash, but apparently he didn't even bring it, as now he doubles right out into Rotom on the Toxic. Clefable definitely does not want that Choice Scarf, so he switches out an Arcanine on the Slowking's double, as now he triples out into Greninja on the Slowking's Trick Room, goes right out into Garchomp on the U-turn from Greninja, as Greninja goes out into Clefable. As we all know, Clefable I do believe is slower, switches out into Blissey on the Cosmic Power from Clefable. As now Blissey and Clefable, this is why I hated the defensive stats, goes for a Heal Belt, gets rid of the poison on the Rotom, as another Cosmic Power comes up, looking like a Cosmic Power would be able to win the game, but Rotom comes out now. He's going to be able to trick the Choice Scarf. No, he is not. He's going to go for a Volt Switch on the Arcanine switch in. Nice prediction there by Pearl. Switches out into Garchomp, as Arcanine comes out. As Thundurus comes out, excuse me, on the Earthquake prediction. And now Rotom comes out. Does not get that knockoff very well, as now a knockoff kills the Rotom from the Thunders, and now Ribombee comes up. Does in fact get taunted as he was trying to go for the Quiver Dance and probably the sweep, but now Scizor comes out on the Blissey switch and double, decides to triple into, actually no, double, switch into Blissey and then doubles out into Huntail, goes for Hidden Power Fire on the Swords Dance, as now I think Scizor was predicting the Shell Smash, but was not able to do it, so now Bullet Punch only does 55, well actually that is a lot, as Huntail is able to kill the Scizor with a Hidden Power Fire, and now Thundurus comes out, decides to just sack the Huntail and live to fight another day, as Blissey now comes out, goes out into Clefable, goes for Seismic Toss, probably predicting a taunt so that he doesn't get taunted at all, but then Navi comes out, the Ribombee, as a Cosmic Power comes out. They decide to Quiver Dance, as a Toxic does in fact hit the Ribombee, as Clefable is just getting leftover recovery, excuse me, as another Quiver and Cosmic Power both come out. Moonblast onto the Clefable actually does a lot, so we see that it is not unaware, but it is Magic Card Clefable, as another Cosmic Power comes out. Goes for another Quiver Dance, I don't know what he was predicting there, but a Soft Boil does come out, and bring Clefable back up to full, as Rabombi's at 40% does in fact get the special attack drop, which is very helpful against the Blissey that wants to come out, most likely, in my opinion, as another special attack drop. So now it's at half, as Rabombi finally dies to Toxic, as now Blissey comes in. Goes for a Toxic, goes for a Wish on Blissey, and Blissey does decide to go for a Heal Bell to show that, no, you're not going to Toxic Stall me today. Protect comes out on Blissey, trying to predict another Toxic, which does in fact happen. Goes for a second Toxic in a row, does in fact click that time, as a Seismic Toss does hit, not able to take out the Clefable, as now Cosmic Power comes out, as we see another Wish. Cosmic Power again, on another Heal Bell, getting rid of the Toxic before it gets too out of hand, as the Wish just brings Blissey back up to full. They're basically both at full. Another Protect, try and predict the Toxic, not able to get it, obviously. So now Clefable tries to go for another Toxic on another Protect. Both of them fail. So now Clefable decides to switch out. He knows that he's not going to be able to win. He's losing for Toxics, as Blissey tries to Protect again. Goes for a U-turn, trying to predict a switch out into something. Goes out into Arcanine, as Blissey decides to stay in and goes for a Seismic Toss on the Greninja. And Greninja this time is going to go for a Low Kick on the Blissey's Protect. Goes for U-turn, predicting another switch. Goes right out into Thunder on the Wish. And now Thunder finally says, no, you're not going to be able to do any of this stuff. I'm going to taunt you. But instead, the Garchomp switches in, gets back up to full health. Gets hit with a Hidden Power Ice, which does do a lot of damage. Poison Jab does do a lot as well. Switches right back out into Blissey on the knockoff, which does lose the leftovers. And goes for a taunt so that it can't Wish or Protect or anything. Goes out into Arcanine now. Does lower the attack, but it doesn't matter with the Seismic Toss. As now Arcanine switches out into Greninja. As Garchomp comes out as well. Goes out into Slowking. Gets the U-turn. It actually eats the Tonga Berry, which is very interesting to see in my opinion. Goes out into Thundurus, goes for the Thunderbolt. Actually lives on 3%, goes for the Surf, lives on 9%. Goes right up, doubles out into Blissey, or switches into Blissey I should say, on the Hidden Power Ice. He switches out into Greninja on the Seismic Toss, living on 18% now. Switches out into Garchomp on the Low Kick, does in fact take out the Garchomp, but now Greninja is down to 6%. Switches out into Slowking, decides to double out into Blissey on the U-turn. Goes out into Arcanine now, lowers the attack, thinking that he doesn't have anything, actually pulls out a close combat, taking out the Blissey, so now it is Slowking versus the world, goes for a Crunch, try to get as much damage, maybe even a defense drop, goes for a Trick Room, goes for a Surf, and does take out an Arcanine. I know it says goes for a lot at this time. Decides to hit Clefable with a Psyshock, not the smartest play, as Clefable is able to Cosmic Power. A Surf hits Clefable as a Toxic comes out onto the Slowking, as now another Surf, not able to do anything to Clefable, as a Moonblast not able to kill Slowbro either, Slowking, excuse me, as finally Toxic Damage does take it out. Finally done. Very good battle, very interesting to see both these guys switching and predicting each other. I think none of these players played like bad. They all predicted everything the same. Well, not the same, but predicted everything correctly. And it was just very good battling back and forth. Not even stally, it was just back and forth, predicting a lot of things. Even 4 versus 3, where Rockhand's favor, it still could have gone either way. Even at Hidden Power Ice onto the Garchomp, I still think it could have gone either way. It was just very well played, and I really enjoyed watching that game, making me think a lot, and it was really good job. I don't know when the next battle is going to be. I know I'm going to be battling later today with Cody, and I'll see you guys then, but you'll see me right now. And I am back with 2 battles this time. Today is Monday, and I was able to battle my friend Cody, aka the Holland Heracross, and also the Philadelphia Star Armies took on the Reading Rapidash. So, like, basically, as soon as Cody and I finished our battle, Lucy actually made like a whole big comment like, hey, who else is battling today? And then Devil said, oh, we will. Why not? And that's what they did. So let's get to the team preview. We have Excelgor, Mega Manectric, Sylveon, Heatran, Amoonguss, and Manaphy taking on Mew, Mega Lopunny, Vikavolt, Minior, Klefki, and Venusaur. So right off the bat, I know that Mew is a Calm Mind, Psychic, and Earth Power set against full special team. So my goal was to set up with so many Calm Minds that he cannot touch me. But I also gotta watch out for Manaphy. You always gotta watch out for Manaphy. If it gets to ×3, it is hitting a lot of stuff. Let's get right into this match. We have My Drunk Knight, the Klefki, versus taking on the Amoonguss. Sets up a spike turn 1 as Amoonguss decides to spore the Klefki. Amoonguss then goes for a foul play on the first turn of sleep. Obviously doesn't do anything, so he decides to switch out into Heatran as my Klefki decides to wake up and go for another spike. So 2 layers of spike with no hazard removal on Cody's side. Goes for a Lava Boom on the Kirby switching. And then a Z Dark Black Hole Eclipse, I do believe that was Dark Pulse, taking out Mew, getting rid of my winning mon, my sweeping mon, as now Mega Lopunny comes in, goes for a substitute predicting a switch, and he was right out into Amoonguss, goes for a power punch, obviously doesn't do much, just trying to raise that attack power, but we see that as Rocky Helmet, and is it really worth that damage again, plus foul play? No, I do not believe it was, so I switched out into Minior on the Giga Drain, does 30%. Getting some health back for Amoonguss, decides to set up a Shell Smash, and I do feel bad here for Cody as he decides to Spore, not realizing what Shields Up means, as he switches out into Heatran on my substitute into Minior, as in now I go into the other form, I forgot what the other form is called, goes for an Earthquake, and now we are tied up again at 5, decides to go out into Manectric. Mega evolves, Intimidate does not go through a sub, that's why I brought sub, goes for another Earthquake, just takes out the Manectric, as now Amoonguss comes out, goes down to 84% health, as the Acrobatics does in fact take it out, but then Rocky Helmet takes me down to 30%, as now Excelgor comes out, and Excelgor actually has Water Shuriken, getting rid of the sub, and killing me in 2 shots, so nice prep there by Excelgor, and then Klefki comes out, goes for a Thunder Wave, but Excelgor actually goes for Rain Dance Hydration. Decides to switch out into Sylveon now, as now I go for a Sunny Day, so that Manaphy doesn't come in and sweep me. Goes for a Thunder Wave, misses the Thunder Wave, as a Hyper Voice comes out. Doesn't do a whole lot to Klefki, obviously, as I decide to go for another Thunder Wave, paralyzing this Sylveon as he goes for a Wish. I decide to switch out into Venusaur, as he goes out into Excelgor, getting that health back. But now Venusaur goes for a Sludge Bomb because of Chlorophyll, does not take it out, but does get the poison, as Excelgor goes for a Bug Buzz, not taking it out as well, taking it to 50%, as now Manaphy comes out, and I do mess up. I could have easily killed Manaphy with that range, but I did not think this straight, and I switch out into Tailgo. Assault Vested, Vikavolt does live that pretty easily, as a Wakan Berry comes out on the Manaphy, which is very good prep on Cody's part, goes for a Volt Switch, does take it out in fact, and I go right back out into Venusaur, knowing that Sylveon is poisoned, and taking some more Spikes damage, goes for a Sludge Bomb, and does in fact take it out. And what a game by Cody, even with a team of just full special attackers, giving me all I got, and it definitely showed that he put a lot of prep into this. Him and I were going back and forth, saying, I'm going to 6-0 you, no, I'm going to 6-0 you, fuck you, fuck you. It was fun while I was battling him, and I wish him the luck. I hope that he can pull out a win very soon. But let's go right over to the Philadelphia Starmies taking on the Reading Rapidash. We have Snorlax, Whimsicott, Sawk, Staraptor, Rhyperior, and Mega Sableye taking on Buzzwole, Leavanny, Vaporeon, Excadrill, Kumala, and Chandelure. Right off the bat, I can see that Whimsicott, it might have a pretty good day. Has Moonblast for Buzzwole and Giga Drain for Vaporeon, but I do believe that Staraptor is actually going to have a better day because of moves like Close Combat, U-Turn, and obviously Brave Bird. Vice versa, I do believe Buzzwole might have a good day. If it's scarfed with Poison Jab, could definitely take out the Whimsicott. Should be able to definitely take out the other mons, such as Staraptor, if it is not scarfed itself. The only thing you have to watch out for is Mega Sableye. Let's get right into this. We have Vaporeon going one-on-one against Rhyperior. Obviously, Rhyperior doesn't have a good job, so that he's going to switch out into Snorlax on the Ice Beam. Does not do a lot at all. Goes for a Skull this time, trying to get the burn, but does not able to do it. Double Edge does more than the 2 attacks that Vaporeon did, and he has to switch out into Buzzball, which I'm not really a big fan of, as another Double Edge and Rocky Helmet does get the Snorlax down to like about, I don't know, I figured out it was 30%. Power Punch does not do anything to Sableye. Sableye Mega Evolves and goes for a Fake Out, which doesn't do a whole lot. I think that Rocky Helmet does more, as he decides to go out into Rhyperior, predicting, I don't know what he's predicting, but does in fact do a lot of damage. Goes for Stone Edge, not able to take out Ivani because of the attack drop. And now Ivani is able to scare away Rhyperior, goes out on Whimsicott as an X-Scissor comes out, does do a pretty good amount of damage, but not enough to kill it, as now Ivani is going to switch out into Buzzwole on the Toxic from Whimsicott. Now Whimsicott is going to protect on the Lunge from Buzzwole, and seeing that, the Rapidash decide to switch out into Staraptor on another Lunge. Doesn't do a whole lot again, but the attack drop is going to matter. Staraptor decides to U-turn on the Buzzball, as Rocky Helmet does matter a lot. Switches out into Sock again. I do believe that is a shiny Sock. As Vaporeon comes out, goes for a close combat. It does not take out Vaporeon at all, but instead of going for a Skull, Vaporeon decides to Wish, and then switches out into Komala on another close combat. Does in fact take out the Komala, unfortunately. Not a very good switch in for the Starmies. Now Chandelure comes out, goes for Calm Mind on the Rhyperior switching, and then goes for a taunt. I don't know what he's predicting, either rocks or something, but Stonish comes out. Luckily for the Pokeslash, he's able to stay alive for just at least one more turn. Goes for a Shadow Ball, is able to take it out, as a matter of fact. As now Staraptor comes out, we all know that it's faster. Goes for Pursuit in case Chandelure switches out, and it does. Vaporeon comes out, goes for another Pursuit, which is able to take it out again. Ivani also comes out, goes for yet another Pursuit, proving that it is in fact choiced. Goes for an X-Scissor, not able to take the Staraptor out, as yet another Pursuit comes out, and now we have 5 versus 1. Excadrill comes out, goes for a Swords Dance, as now Snorlax comes out, goes for an Iron Head, is able to take out the Snorlax, and goes out into Sock, which will be able to finish up the game with a close combat, and that is GG for it is Redding. So very good game. The Staraptor pulling out to be a very, very important figure on the Rapidash's side. But congratulations to Gamer Gecko, first win of the season for him. Chris is still looking for the first season, but I'm sure that he'll be able to get it soon. Alright guys, I will see you guys in a moment. And today is Tuesday evening, and we have the Kansas City Cartonas taking on the Illinois Illusions. We have Salazzle, Mega Steelix, Cresselia, Tapu Bulu, Gengar, and Umbreon taking on Neolego, Honchkrow, Mega Gyarados, Circuitry, Heracross, and Guzzlord. Loopy trying to make up for the upset loss that happened last week, as Bryce is trying to keep that undefeated season going with another win against probably one of the favorites in the PSBL. Let's get right into this. We have Salazzle starting off against Gyarados, as the Intimidate does not really matter, obviously. Mega Evolves, as of course he has to, as a Will-O-Wisp comes out, and also a Waterfall. Salazzle is able to live because of said Will-O-Wisp. Switches out into Tapu Bulu, as Mega Gyarados does predict that and go for an Iron Head, but since he is burnt, it does not matter too much, as now Bulu and Gyarados are getting recovery from grassy terrain. Now Honchkrow comes in to take the Wood Hammer, definitely not well enough, as Honchkrow does in fact go down to Tapu Bulu, as now Heracross comes in, switches into a Steelix on the Mega Horn, but unfortunately does miss. Doesn't really matter too much though, as now Mega Gyarados comes back out, as Steelix Mega Evolves and goes for a Heavy Slam. Not doing a lot obviously, as now they get grassy terrain recovery. Now Umbreon comes out on the Gyarados' Dragon Dance. Obviously not really fearing it that well. Goes for Waterfall, only does about a quarter, but does get the flinch, however. But leftover recovery does matter a little bit in this battle, as another 23% hit from Waterfall, and a second flinch in a row does in fact hit, as another Waterfall comes out forcing the Umbreon to wish up there, but the burn damage is taking a toll on the Gyarados as he decides to Dragon Dance, predicting a protect or something, but a taunt comes out so that Mega Gyarados cannot set up again. Goes for a waterfall. That time it did 30, but a foul play does 57 to the Gyarados. It is resisted, and burn does in fact take it out. So now Bryce is up 6-4 as now Heracross comes out. Goes for a knockoff. Does take out Salazzle. Nice sack there by Bryce. As now Steelix comes in. Switches out into Chubbs, the Guzzlord, as a Heavy Slam only does about 15%. A Drain Punch does over half because of a critical hit. And now Guzzlord is back up to full. Earthquake does do a good chunk of damage to it, but then decides to switch out into Cresselia, predicting another Drain Punch, and yet there it is. And now forces Guzzlord to switch out into Circuitry, taking the Moonblast actually pretty nicely. Goes for an Energy Ball, does about the same much as a Moonblast did to it, as a Psyshock does, about 30%. Switches back out into Guzzlord, predicting that other Psyshock, and then decides to stay in the Moonblast. Actually lives the Moonblast in 10%, goes for a knockoff, but there is a Colbur Berry that is held by Cresselia, making it live the knockoff pretty well. So decides to switch out into Neolego on the Moonblast, switches out into Umbreon to try to take the Power Gem pretty nicely, but he is not able to, so he decides to switch out into Steelix, predicting that the Neolego is in fact either Scarfed or Spexed. Switches out into Guzzler to take the to sack it because of the Earthquake, and that's a free switch into Mega Heracross. Goes for a knockoff, does not able to kill. Heavy Slam is also not able to kill him, Heracross, but the next knockoff is going to in fact kill. And now we're sitting at 4v3. Gengar comes out, decides to switch out into Neolego on the Psychic, doing pretty good chunks of damage, just depending on how high the Neolego special attack is. Special defense, excuse me. Goes for a Power Gem, is in fact able to kill. Apparently that was a roll to kill, it wasn't even guaranteed. But the disable does it in fact happen. Forced to switch out into Heracross to sack it, but now Neolego is faster than everything on the team, and everything is in range of a Sludge Wave, especially when the Neolego gets this +1 special attack rise. Nothing is living the special beast that is Neolego, as Neolego is now able to get 4 kills, going from a 6-4 deficit to a 2-0 win. Hoobie, you suck. No, I'm kidding. He is one of my favorites to win this just because of his hyper offense. Is very scary to deal with. There's not a lot of things that can take a lot of these hits, so very interesting is how the rest of the season is going to go, especially week 8. Week 8, definitely. Thank you guys for watching. Well, I always forget that this is not the end of the video, so you guys will see me, I don't know when. And I am back, and it is Monday after week 2 has finished. Obviously I'm behind, as you can see, from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 remaining battles come from. My girlfriend was over for the entire weekend, which basically meant that I was not able to record anything at all the entire weekend. So I missed over half the battles this week, just because my girlfriend was here. I mean, I was able to update the document, but I was not able to record anything at all. So this is going to be a while. This is going to be a long section for me. This should be the end of the section, so that's be great. This video should be up today, if not tomorrow, very early tomorrow morning, like 1 a.m. Eastern. But I have my handy-dandy water bottle right here. I might take some breaks just to guzzle it a little bit. Not guzzle, but you know what I meant. I also might be speeding up at certain points, just try to get that over with, but let's just get through it. The first matchup right now, we have Lucy Goosey and the Edmonton Coilers taking on Kid Icarus and the Gliscors. We have Alomola, Azumarill, Machamp, Mega Camerupt, Reuniclus, and Hydreigon taking on Spiritomb, Tyranitar, Gliscor, Tornadus, Mesprit, and Megadionce. Is it Megadionce? I think it's Megadionce. I'm almost positive it's Megadionce, but if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, so what? The biggest threats, the debut of Mega Camerupt, showing him how powerful Mega Camerupt can be, especially to Hoobie, taking on Gliscors and the Gliscor, which led the league last week in defensive hits, and definitely could take some more today, but we're going to find out what goes on. Let's get right into it. So we have Alamola taking on Spiritomb, turn 1, goes for a Toxic, and Spiritomb goes for the Will-O-Wisp. Obviously, it doesn't really matter too much. I would prefer to a Toxic in Alamola, but anyway, it goes for a Scald just to do some damage as Pursuit comes out. I don't know if Lucy's predicting that or what, but it just manages to stay in. As Spiritomb is racking up poison damage, switches out into Mesprit as Alamola goes for a Wish, and then decides to switch out into Hydreigon on the Stealth Rocks. Obviously not going to do anything. Goes for the Defog to get rid of the said Stealth Rocks, but the Dazzling Gleam comes out and does take out of Lucy's main offensive threat. Reuniclus comes out, eats a U-turn from Mesprit, not very well in my opinion. Goes for a Trick Room as well as Tyranitar is in. Goes for a Focus Blast, does in fact kill the Tyranitar. As now Reuniclus is sitting at about half, goes for a Recover as Spiritomb goes for Pursuit. The Culprit Berry is going to do a decent amount even after the Culprit Berry, only 20%. As Spiritomb is racking up poison damage, goes for a Shadow Sneak as Reuniclus goes for a Shadow Ball, and now Shadow Sneak is not in range. Goes for it again, but does in fact get the crit, unfortunately, as Spiritomb does die to toxic damage. That is actually a kill for Alamola. As now Deoncé, Mega evolves, goes for Moonblast, does not kill the incoming Azumarill, goes for a Waterfall, it does actually kill it. As Mesprit comes out, switches out into Alamola, does 51 to Alamola, which is very good damage. As now goes for a U-turn, I don't know, predicting a switch probably. Switches out into Tornadus as a Wish from Alamola comes out, and he's sitting at 41% damage. Health back, excuse me, as a Psychic comes out, not doing anything because of the Protect, going back up to full health because of Wish. He goes for Psychic again, only does 32 as another Wish from Alamola comes out. As knowing that it's a losing battle, decides to switch back out into Mesprit on the Protect from Alamola, as it's not going to be doing a lot of damage. Goes for another Psychic, does half to it as a Toxic comes out to Mesprit. And that basically means that Alamola is forced to switch out, but instead goes for Protect to try to do some toxic damage. And that's exactly what's going to happen, as it's 12%, only going to go up from here. As now forced to switch out into Camerupt, goes for Psychic, does 57 to Camerupt, unfortunately, which does make Camerupt basically useless. Switches back out into Alamola, takes that Psychic because of Regenerator health, and goes back up to 28% health, which is not good for an Alamola, as he decides to switch out, trying to rack up poison damage again, as Gliscor comes out now. And can Gliscor kill Alamola at 28? It cannot, only does 23, as the Wish does come out, as Alamola is at 5%. Switches right back out into Mesprit on the Protect, as it does take it back up to 55% health. As Mesprit is about at the same as well. Goes for Psychic, not able to kill, goes to 4%, as the Wish comes out again. As Mesprit is just at 4%, can't quite kill it, as he's going to go for a U-turn, predicting I don't know what he's predicting, maybe a U-turn to be safe. But Alamola is also at -1 special defense, as his Psychic comes out, does in fact kill the Camerupt coming in, which is very unfortunate. I really wanted to see something done there, but guess not. As now Azumarill comes in, goes for the Aqua Jet, not able to kill the Gliscor, but the second one definitely will, and that's what he's going to have to do, sack the Gliscor. Unfortunately, not very defensive today, as Tornadus comes out, goes for Psychic again. Alamola eats that up very nicely, and switches back out into Mesprit, and the Wish coming out, as another more toxic damage is just going to do more to Mesprit, as this is why you should have poisoned Alamola instead of Burn, because now it is back up to full. It would have been doing a lot more if it was in fact poisoned, but Dark Pulse is not going to do as much as Psychic is. Trying to get the flinch, hopefully something comes out of it, but instead he goes for a Toxic, gets back up to full health anyway. As now another Dark Pulse, trying to get it to flinch, but another Wish comes out, and nothing's going on. Goes out into Azumarill, takes the Dark Pulse very nicely, goes back up to full health, and now switches out into Mesprit on the incoming Aquajet, does in fact take out Mesprit, and that means Tornadus versus Azumarill goes for our Aquajet, not able to take it out, but the toxic damage will in fact do that for them, as Lucy Goosey and the Edmonton Coilers take out the Gliscors 3-0, getting their second win of the week, of the season so far, putting them in the top 3, I believe, in the Sun Conference. Man, that Alomola is very annoying, especially if you play it the right way. It can destroy an offensive team just with Alomola alone, as we saw with that Mesprit. But anyway, good job by Kid Icarus. Very hard to beat that style of play, especially with an Alomola. Yeah. Next up, we have Ninetales with coach of Ninetales taking on the Miami Magikarp coach Jake the Cows. We have Victini, Mega Sceptile. I'm pretty sure it's Mega Sceptile. Skarmory, Conkeldurr, Gyarados, and Nidoqueen. Taking on Slurpuff, Kyurem, Registeel, Infernape, Serperior, and Exploud. Right off the bat, Kyurem should be doing a lot of work, especially if it has Earth Power. I think it has Earth Power. I'm pretty sure it has Earth Power. But Ice Beam does a lot of damage to Mega Sceptile and Nidoqueen. No, really good switch-ins to an Ice Beam other than Victini, which, again, dies to a Earth Power. But Conkeldurr should be doing a very strong game, especially with Ice Punch, Drain Punch, any kind of punch to Infernape. But let's get started into it. We have Slurpuff taking on Skarmory. As Skarmory decides to switch out into Gyarados on the Flamethrower from Slurpuff. Goes for a Corkscrew Crash, not able to take out the Slurpuff because of Sash, goes for the Webs, and then goes for a Dazzling Gleam, trying to get as much damage as he can on Gyarados, as Gyarados decides to Dragon Dance on another Dazzling Gleam, not able to outspeed it anyway. Goes for a double Dragon Dance, goes for a Waterfall, and does in fact take out Slurpuff. And we have a +3 Gyarados, goes for a Crunch on its Registeel, not able to get the defense drop, but it does do very good damage to the Registeel, in fact. As Conkeldurr is now able to come out, goes for Seismic Toss, not able to do too much to it. Knockoff, not able to take out the Registeel, but does in fact get the Oka Berry out. Mach Punch is able to take out the Registeel, as Kyurem now comes out. Not knowing what he wants to do, he's going to go for a Mach Punch on a Psychic, not able to take out the Conkeldurr. Forced to switch out into Serperior to save the Kyurem, as a Mach Punch does in fact do 30 to the Serperior, as another Mach Punch is going to do another 30. That is why Conkeldurr is very scary and very useful on a team. It does 30% with Mach Punches alone. Able to take out the Conkeldurr with a Leaf Storm, switches out to Victini, as it eats the Dragon Pulse, goes for a U-turn, and now switches out into Nidoqueen, as we switch out into Kyurem. But Kyurem is obviously faster and has Ice Beam. Goes for said Ice Beam, does a good chunk to Skarmory, switches out into Victini, predicting a Fire move, but in fact an Ice Beam just comes out again, as Victini does good Frozen. Goes for an Earth Power, is able to take out Victini. And now we switch back out into Sceptile, which does get outsped by Scarch Kyurem, which I do believe is what it was. As Sceptile does go down, as now Nidoqueen comes out. Nidoqueen goes down to an Ice Beam, and now we're stuck with this Skarmory who does not have any offensive moves other than counter. Switches out an Exploud on said counter, as now Flamethrower, not able to take out the Skarmory, but counter is not going to be doing anything. So that makes me think that Jake the Cows is not going to bring Skarmory without any offensive moves other than counter for the rest of the season. But Kyurem, again, is doing very, very well, and I do believe it has 5 kills and no deaths, which is pretty good in my opinion, averaging just about 2.5 kills per game. Let's move on to the next battle now, as I am going to take a sip of my water real quick. As we have one of the two teams that won 6-0 last week, the GV Center and the Dallas Dragons, taking on Polly and his Indianapolis Infernapes. We have Ninetales Alola, Muckalola, Bisharp, Pyukumuku, Hawlucha, and Flygon, taking on Terrakion, Gligar, Manectric. Is that Mega Manectric? No, I don't think it's Mega Manectric. No, it's not. Savali, Ash Greninja, and Durant. Ash Greninja, I don't really see doing too much, especially that Pyukumuku right there. Might be able to have a Gunk Shot or Ice Beam or something. You could definitely put in a pretty decent chunk, but I think that Pyukumuku is going to be something that really walls the shit out of it. The only thing that can maybe take out the Pyukumuku is the Manectric, which does put in a pretty decent offensive pressure, especially if it has Hidden Power Ice and Flamethrower and or Overheat. We'll get right into this as we see Manectric going one-on-one against Alolan Ninetales. Obviously switches out into Muck, as you see it is actually not Slowpoke or Snow Veil or whatever brings no hail on Alolan Ninetales. Switches out into Muck on the Flamethrower from Manectric. Obviously the special defense from Muck eats it up. Volt Switch does not do a whole lot as Muck actually goes for Pursuit. Very nice play there, does over half to Manectric as Gligar does come in. Forces Muck out into Pyukumuku, which obviously can't do anything. Muck instead goes for a Soft Rock and a U-turn, just trying to get some chip damage on there, see what item it has, and it in fact has the Rocky Helmet as he baton passes out into Flygon. Obviously has the Fire Punch, but an Iron Head is not able to take out the Durant, but Fire Punch is able to get the Durant down to Focus Sash, switches back out into Pyukumuku as he knows he's going to eat anything, and the Rocky Helmet will in fact take out the Durant, as now Manectric gets a free switch in, goes out into Muck, gets the Figgy Berry as it goes back up to basically full health, eats up that Volt Switch very nicely as Terrakion comes in, forced to switch out into Alolan Ninetales, goes for a close combat, is able to take out the Alolan Ninetales, and that's the first death by GB Center this season. As now Hawlucha comes in, and Hawlucha is going to go for a Power Herb Sky Attack and goes for the Swords Dance the next turn as a Roost comes out for Gligar. Knowing that Gligar can't do anything, goes for a second Swords Dance as Gligar switches out into Savali. I do believe it's Psychic. I don't know what Savali it is. Savali Fairy, as a Rock Slide is not able to take out Hawlucha, as the second Stone Edge is able to take out Savali. Greninja is trying to go for a Water Shuriken, the only thing he can do to stop Hawlucha, but a Drain Punch is in fact able to take out Greninja. As Gligar comes out, goes for a Drain Punch, not able to do a whole lot, but that's basically the only thing he can do, as U-turn, switches out into Terrakion, as a close combat, not able to take out Hawlucha, but a Drain Punch is able to take out Terrakion, and that only leaves the Infernape with Manectric, who dies to a Drain Punch, and Gligar, who will fall to 2 Stone Edges. So another very quick battle. Goes for a third Stone Edge as Swords Dance, as a Swords Dance is going to be able to take it out the next turn. I had to go drink of water as he actually misses a Stone Edge, and then takes it out on the next Stone Edge. So 6-0 and then a 5-0. What's next? Is it going to be a 4-0 or is it going to be another 5 or 6-0? He is just showing dominance, and it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen down the road with this team. Alright, 3 down, 3 to go, as we have Yo Bro Jake and the Anaheim Arcanines taking on PB Peanut Butter Nikora and the Uprising Flydogs. Is it Uprising? I think it's the Uprising. I don't know. Yeah, the Uprising. Alright, so we have Zygarde, Celesteela, Mega Gardevoir, Scolipede, Shaman, and Tauros taking on Mega Houndoom, Ninetales, Suicune, Nidoking, Dragonite, and Donphan. A little bit of a mini Sun team going here with Houndoom and Ninetales. Going to be very interesting to see if that can go anywhere. Would it definitely be able to do a lot of damage, especially with Celesteela and Scolipede. And Shaman. Very weak to fire type moves, and only Zygarde to resist it. Let's get started to it. as Ninetales starts off against Shaman. Obviously a bad matchup for Nakora, but switches out into Houndoom on the switch into Mega Gardevoir, traces the Flash Fire. Maggie, they both have the Mega Evolve though to get rid of that Flash Fire, goes for a Fire Blast, and actually does take out the Mega Gardevoir turn 1 just because of Solar Power. As now Zygarde comes out, goes for a Hidden Power Ice, is in fact able to take out the Zygarde in one shot. Scolipede now comes out, goes for a Substitute as Scolipede decides to go for an Earthquake. And now we know that Scolipede is going to be faster, as he's going to force the switch out into Suicune on the Poison Jab from Scolipede. Is able to get the Poison on Suicune, which is very good for Nakora. Switches out into Shaman as a Reflect comes out, which is very interesting to see, but I do like it. Switches out into Nidoking on the Seed Flare, which does not take it well at all, but in fact the Nidoking is scarfed, takes out the Shaman, and now we are left with 6v3 as now Taurus comes out, and the Donphan switch in takes the Body Slam very well, trying to get the Paralysis, but not able to get it, because it is Sheer Force, I believe, so another Body Slam is not able to take it out. But an Earthquake is able to take out Tauros, as now Celesteela comes out, goes for Autonomize because he knows he's going to live at least one hit. Knockoff shows that it was a Quanberry. So Ice Shard only does 15%, as Donphan does in fact go down to a Seed Bomb, as now Suicune comes out on a +1 Celesteela, not able to take out the Suicune with a Seed Bomb, as Suicune goes for a Reflect on the Seed Bomb, which does get Celesteela to +2, goes for an Earthquake, gets the crit. I do believe that matters tremendously, as now we're at +3. Celesteela goes for an Acrobatics, not able to take it out because of Multiscale, but a Dragon Dance, not able to outspeed Celesteela, as goes for a +4. Scarf Nidoking, not able to outspeed the Celesteela, as now Houndoom not able to outspeed at all, and we see a second straight Celesteela sweep. That means 10 kills in just 2 games for Celesteela. That crit definitely did matter. If it wasn't for the crit, I do believe that Mega Houndoom would have won the game. Good game for both players, especially Nakora, very lucky there. Got the crit when he really needed to. But let's just go on to the final two. We have It's Byron and the Pittsburgh Reggie Steelers taking on... Okay, he sent me the name of this. Big Tucker Twenta Tentacles. I think it is Twenta. How did I do this time, Twenta? We have Lando T, Celebi, Mega Beedrill, Gigalith, Druddigon, and Volcanion taking on Zeraora, trying to make more of an impact this week. Slowbro, Mega Altaria, Mamoswine, Weezing, and Tornadus T. So we have both of Lando versus Tornadus. Lando versus Torno. That doesn't really fit. But I'd really like to see Zeraora doing more offensive pressure. Unfortunately, he missed out on a very low roll last week, but maybe he can bounce back this week. But it looks like Lander should be putting in a lot of offensive pressure, especially against Mamoswine and Tornadus. Too bad it's not Sheer Force, it would be doing a lot of damage to the Weezing as well. Let's get right into this as we have Tornadus taking on Druddigon. As we see it as Moltbreaker Druddigon, so Levitate on the Weezing is not going to really matter. As a U-turn onto Gigalith, we see it is not Sandshrew, which is very interesting to see, but instead it is Leftovers, but does eat that Icicle Crash very, very well, as a Stone Edge does do a lot because of crit. Forced to switch out into Slowbro. On the Stealth Rocks from Gigalith, goes for a Toxic, try to put that thing on a timer, as a Toxic of his own is not going to do, he's going to miss unfortunately, which does suck, giving the chance to go out into Weezing. Switches out into Celebi, as we see a substitute from Celebi predicting that it does not even have a poison type move, which is very risky. Weezing decided to go for a Will-O-Wisp, which in my opinion is very weird, as Calm Mind comes out from Celebi, as hopefully that, so Mike has a video out. Psychic from Celebi is able to take out Weezing, switches out into Zeraora, basically trying to sack it, goes for a knockoff, which does in fact break the sub. Psychic is not able to kill the Zeraora, but basically forced to sack, goes for another knockoff, not able to take it out, but Zeraora again does in fact go down, which is very unfortunate in my opinion, but it was able to do a pretty decent job as Ice Shard is able to take out the Celebi. Damn it, Mike, not now. That's actually Drake. Damn it, Jake. As Beedrill Mega Evolves, goes for a Fell Stinger, does in fact take out the Mamoswine, as now Tornado switches out, goes for an Air Slash, shows that it is Scarfed. I do believe that means it is Scarfed. Kills the Mega Beedrill, goes out into, let me catch up. Gigalith. Goes out into Gigalith, forced to switch out into Slowbro, takes its Stone Edge pretty nicely, as now, Gigalith decides to switch out into Volcanion, trying to predict a Scald or something, but instead a Toxic comes out, which is a very nice play on Byron's part. Steam Eruption is not doing a whole lot, as Psyshock is not doing as much either, but here comes something very interesting, Breakneck Blitz, which I don't even know what he has on that, but that was very interesting to see, as now forces the Mega Evolve, which Steam Eruption is not able to burn, but a Roost comes out, as Toxic is going to be able to kill Volcanion next turn. Steam Eruption still not able to burn, which is very unfortunate, but good job by Byron seeing that Volcanion will die next turn. Goes for a Roost again to get up to full, as now Landorus goes for an Earthquake. On the Ice Beam from Mega Altaria, we see that it is in fact special and not physical Altaria this week, as now Altaria goes for a Hyper Voice, takes out the Druddigon, and now we are stuck with 2v1, goes for Hyper Voice, not able to take it out. Stone Edge, not able to take out the Altaria, but that means that Altaria is able to take out Gigalith the next turn, and we have another win by Byron. Good job, congratulations to him. But unfortunately, that means a loss by 20. I think that's how you say it. As I'm going to go to Do Not Disturb so that sound does not happen again. Come on, there we are. Still recording? Still recording. Word. As now we go to the final battle of the week. Let me take a sip of water first. There we go. As we have the Salt Lake Spindos taking on the San Francisco Royals. Zoroark, Darmanitan, Alakazam, Florges, Aggron, and Shuckle taking on Ditto, Chansey, Charizard, Mimikyu, Hitmonlee, and Stakataka. Kind of weak to a fighting type there for Kohasabi, especially with Stone Edge or something. Only one switch in, maybe two, depending on what Ditto can transform into. But also if Mimikyu, if the opponent was able to predict, but it doesn't really matter. I was going to say if the opponent is able to predict a Mimikyu switch in, easily can go for like a knockout or something, but don't have to worry about that because there's no fighting types. Zoroark is going to be a very interesting thing. Could definitely be physical to take on the Chansey, or even especially Woko the Stakataka. But let's see what happens here. Because we have Shuckle going on against Charizard X, which goes for a Mega Evolution, but we see it's actually Illusion. Zoroark goes for the Black Hole Eclipse. I'm surprised that Illusion actually wears off after a Z move is used. Goes for Dark Balls to get rid of the Mimikyu's disguise, as Mimikyu goes for a Sword Stance, which is, in my opinion, a little weird, but Dark Balls does about half to Mimikyu, as it does, in fact, flinch, and goes for another Dark Balls, and is able to take out the Mimikyu, goes for Focus Blast, able to take out the Stakataka, so that's already 3 kills right there for Zoroark, which is very interesting. Switches out into his own Zoroark, doubles out into Chansey, which is a very interesting switch. Double, but it works out in his favor, as Florges goes for a Wish out into Alakazam, also gets Toxic, goes for a Calm Mind, as a Seismic Toss comes out, not doing about a third to it, another Seismic Toss doing puts it over to 37%, as another Psyshock is able to take Chansey down to 14%, as finally Chansey goes down to a third Psyshock, as now Ditto comes out, gets that +1 boost, in both special attack and special defense. Goes for Shadow Ball, is able to take it out. Now Shuckle comes out again, goes for Shadow Ball, does push 43, but it is in fact that Zoroark again, goes for Dark Balls, is able to take out the Ditto, and now we're left with 1v5, goes for a Flamethrower, not able to take it out, goes for a Poison Jab, is in fact able to take out the Zoroark, as now Mega Aggron comes out, as Mega Aggron Mega Evolves. He endured by Hitmonlee, in fact takes it down to the Lychee Berry, goes for the reversal, is able to take out Mega Aggron. Now Shuckle comes out, and Shuckle actually dies to the reversal as well. Now we're left with Florges and Darmanitan. Is Darmanitan able to outspeed? It is not. Reversal is able to take out the Darmanitan. Is now Florges. Is that going to be able to take a Poison Jab? Goes for a Protect, try to get as much health back as we can. And we're sitting at 94% against a +1 Poison Jab? No. As a surprise twist. What a play by the Salt Lake Spindas. We're winning 1-0 as Hitmonlee is able to take out every member of the opposing team, which is very, very shocking. I was watching that live and it was just too hard to see. Excuse me, as I'm drinking a drink of water. Reversal and the Lychee Berry, I don't know what kind of berry it was, but very nice to see there. Good job by Kowasabi and the Salt Lake Spindas. As now we go to the league leaders, as we're just going to go to the kill death ratio. As a matter of fact, it is still the same as the offensive league leaders. Yeah, it's still the same. So once we get farther into the season, then we're going to see a little bit more diversity. At the moment, both the kill death ratio and the offensive league leaders, it is the same. At number 9 and 10, both from the Coilers, we have Machamp and Azumarill, 4 kills, 1 death. Neolego is sitting on top of the 4 kills, excuse me, as I burp, with 4 kills, 1 death. Tapu Bulu, Togekiss, and Hitmonlee each have 5 kills and 1 death. Kyurem, Hawlucha, both have 5 kills and 0 deaths. Volcarona, 6 kills from week 1, 0 deaths. And Celesteela leading the pack, 10 kills, 0 deaths at +10. So now we're going to go to the defensive league leaders, as we have Deontay sitting on the bottom of the top 10 with 6 hits taken and only 1 death. Chansey and Blissey both have 6 hits and 3 poison status moves. Just to let you guys know, I also count Leech Seed damage as poison and burned. So basically you can say that this is status or whatever. But since Chansey died 1 more time than Blissey, Blissey takes the 8th spot over Chansey. Hawlucha actually is in the top 10, which in my opinion is very surprising to see. 7 hits taken, 0 deaths at all. Slowking, 7 hits taken, 2 status returns. Hippowdon, 8. Gliscor, 9. Both of them have 0 status and 1 death apiece. Umbreon with 9 hits taken, 1 status. Clefable, 11 hits taken. And Alomola, 15 hits taken, 21 turns of status. That is ridiculous. That was very interesting to see. As we're going to go to the standings this time. As we're going to go to the Sun Conference this time, as I think I started with this. Excuse me, I'm going to the Moon Conference the first time, as I think I started with the Sun last time. As we have 3 teams still 0-2 in the Moon Conference. The San Francisco Royals, Holland Heracross, and the Philadelphia Stars each 0-2, -8, 9, 7, 8, and 9. Salt Lake Spindas and the Reading Rapidash, excuse me, both 1-1, just barely off the playoffs because of differential. We have the Infernapes and the Arcanites tied with the Rapidashes at 1-1 and 0, but only 1 differential point is the Charlotte Beatrice and the Rockin' Mountain Lycanrocs, sitting at 1-1, +1. And the final 2 teams in the Moon Conference are 2-0, the Dallas Dragons and the Uprising Flygons. Just separating them because of differential. As now we go to the Sun Conference, as we have the only two winless teams are the New York Metagross and the Twente Tentacles. 0-2 is the record, separated just by differential again, as we have three teams not in the playoff position yet, but do have a 1-1 record. Miami Magikarps, Pittsburgh Reggie Steelers, and the Kansas City Kartanas. Separated by only one differential point, 0, -1, -1, as you guys see. We have the inglorious Glyscores, 1-1 and 1. The Bouffalants make it into the playoffs. Playoff spot 1-1 and 2. The Illinois Illusions, which these two teams are facing this week, drop from number 1 to number 4. They use 1-1 and 4. Same, but the last three teams are Ninetales, Goodros, and Coilers. They are all three of them are 2-0, but separated by just two differential points, 6, 5, and 4. The power rankings are up. You guys can go check that out in the power rankings tab in the PSBL. But finally, we're going to go with the schedule. Excuse me, I did not write this down, so I'm going to pause real quick and I will write it down for myself. As I am back for the final time in this episode. Last week I was 7-4. My only losses were I predicted Mike to win against Mandy. Also the Royals to beat the Spindas, the Starmies to beat the Rapidashes, and the Beachvilles to beat the Lycanrocs. Everything else I predicted correctly. The Kartanas beat the Illusions, Ninetales beat Magikarps, the Reggie Steelers beat the Tentacles, Glyscores lost to the Coilers, I beat Heracross, Dragons beat the Infernapes, and the Flygons beat the Arcanines. This week we have the Kartanas versus Magikarps, which I am taking Kartanas this time. They taste blood, and they are gonna attack it. Next up, we have Ninetales versus the Reggie Steelers. Ninetales is just on a high streak right now. I don't really see him losing anytime soon, and it's just gonna continue this week. Next up, I have the Tentacles and the Coilers. Same reason for Ninetales. The Coilers are just on a hot streak. I can see Mega Camera coming again and just wrecking house. Excuse me. As the Glyscores are going to take on the Metagross, I do believe that the Glyscores do need to come back and win this matchup. The Goodros versus the Flygons. I'm always going to bet against the team that has faced it, Fairy Dragon Steel Corp, especially Stella, which has 10 kills in just 2 games, which is incredible. The Flygons. Bouffalants versus Illusions. I know it's Illusions, but calm down. I'm always going to bet for my team. Bouffalants are going to win that one. Royals versus Infernapes, as I go down to the Moon Conference. Royals versus Infernapes. I'm going to take the Royals on that one. They are desperate for a win. They made a free agency trade. Next we have Dragons and Starmies. I don't think anyone could beat the Dragons at this point. Oh shoot, I faced against them week 12. Crap, I might have to change that. No, I'm kidding. But I do take the Dragons in that one. Rapidash versus Lycanrocs. I was going to take the Lycanrocs. I am going to take the Lycanrocs this week. Beachvilles versus Arcanines. Going to be a very interesting matchup. I do believe that is my match of the week, in my opinion. But I do believe Arcanines are going to pull out the win on that one. And then Heracross versus Spindas. I'm going to take my buddy Cody. I do believe he can pull out the win. I think he has the team to do it. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good one.